Alright, just gonna quickly record this video before going to sleep. Probably because we already have done a lot of the things which we have planned for today. You can just take a look at this notepad and you see that most of the things except memorizing new surah and reading a book, except that everything, like today is Tuesday, the one of the very few days when I managed to deal with both of my businesses which I'm doing right now at the current moment. Like yesterday, maybe because I went to the school, I didn't manage to DM people, apply for coding jobs, because I went to the school, I went to the gym, and my primarily one thing which I was hammering yesterday, if you saw the video, was dealing with a Stripe problem, right? So to a certain degree, I did solve this issue, found some 2 or 3 alternatives. I didn't sign up for them yet. I don't know why, maybe I just forgot about the issue which I have, but still, yeah. For those who are new, I'm just gonna quickly go ahead and explain you who I am and what am I doing. So our main business model is agency, as like Iman Gadji's business model is the how can I say that, even older agency model. Like agency model itself is pretty old, but it's not SMMA, it's not short form video editing, it's not cold emails, it's not lead generation, it's not any of that. It's web design. So we basically make websites for people, business owners, and people like that who need business, maybe landing page or something like that, or maybe e-commerce store for offline stores. Never have had clients like that, but I would have been really curious about that. Yeah, so just making websites. And the way I find this kind of clients is basically just letting people know about my stuff as many free ways as I can. And so far, what am I using is Instagram DMs. I DM'd 30 people today, and making this kind of videos to a certain degree. To a certain degree, yeah, whatever. The goal is not to sell, the goal is to document the journey, of course, as you can see right, from the other side of the camera. Okay. I applied for coding jobs, maybe just to fund my startup, to fund my agency. Maybe we can get a job as a programmer, as a developer, and take that salary, invest into ads, invest into knowledge, invest into maybe find and hire some salespeople. I don't know. So I applied for 14 different roles and coding jobs available, DM'd 30 companies and people on Instagram, vlogged what am I doing right now, read the Quran, went to the gym, had 2 meetings. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later. Did my programming classes. So one thing I'm really kind of surprised about is that today is May 14th. We are halfway through the May, and today is the one of the very few days when I have managed to do both my agency and my startups, right? So I DM'd people, applied for coding jobs, did my programming and front-end classes, and at the same time I had a meeting with my with one of my friends who are building my startups. We built from scratch today in, I think, 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour 40 minutes, or something like that. From scratch, we built MVP, minimum viable product. So you technically can go ahead, if I'm gonna give you a link, but I'm not gonna give it because there is one really big issue with that. Um, I'm gonna. I think I can go ahead when I explained what did I did with my agency. So agency is pretty much boring so far. I just DM'd people. I just let people know about my stuff. I just I'm making some reels on Instagram to just let people know about my stuff this way. I DM'd people. I did my programming classes to upgrade and update my valuable skill. Applied for coding jobs, and so far that's what it is. But there are a couple of things which I want to mention about my startup. Okay, again, for those who are new, um, yes, my main business model is agency. But even if my main business model is agency, the problem is that when you are starting out, you don't have shit ton of clients. Basically, you just don't have clients, any clients. And what are you doing, for example, in my case, to fill that space, that time which you have, is do what you can. Like, for example, in my case, I'm learning new programming languages, new stuff. And what I used to do back then, I used to go to boxing class, I used to go to meetups and this kind of different stuff. But I wish I had this startup idea earlier, because right now, even from this startup, I can make money. I can sold it. I can, find out the way how we can, monetize this stuff. So there is like gazillions of way. If I'm gonna make a nice product which people are gonna love to use, there's like millions of other ways how you can monetize this stuff. And it's not about even monetizing it that much. The number one reason why you want to do that is for the sake of yourself, because this is something which, if it's something useful to you, it's probably useful to me. So yeah. And number two, I don't know. Whatever. Okay. I had two meetings today. One is with one of my friends who are building the startups together with me. So we actually, I think we built second MVP so far. Like, we have built one MVP, but the problem with that MVP was that it wasn't working. The real big issue which we are having right now is with backend. So we don't have a backend developer in our team. We don't have backend developer friends to just say, what, we want to build this stuff, and can you help us with it? We just don't have this kind of people around us, and that's why we're trying to search for some APIs who are already on the internet available. And the problem with APIs is that some of them, like the first version of our MVP, why it wasn't working? Well, because there was a limit of up to 50 requests per month, not per day, even per month. So what happened, we just hit the limit and we couldn't use it. We couldn't test it. So we couldn't test it. We made an update and we just couldn't test if it's gonna work, because the limit just hit. We just hit the limit. So now what we had to do is to change the API. And the problem is that some APIs work a little different than the another one. So now we had to rewrite the code from scratch, spent another 1 to 2 hours, what we did exactly today, on a meeting together from scratch. We rewrite the code. But the problem with this MVP, with this API, not the MVP, was that the API was free, but the problem was that the way this guy who created an API was monetizing his stuff is through AdSense, advertisement. So when you click the button, API takes you to another website, the website which is sponsored, and now you have to get back to the website where you started from. And yeah, we don't want ads on our website, so we have to find another API, and again, third time, rebuild this thing right here, our MVP, our product, third time, obsession, and again obsession. Obsession wins talent when talent doesn't work, right? And we need this thing as hard as we can. So I hope we're gonna find a solution. Like, the best solution for our current situation is to find a developer who is gonna agree to work with us for free, because we just can't pay. We're not paying each other, we're not paying anyone. We're not even using a paid hosting or domain, we're using everything for free. The best solution is to find someone who can help us to do the thing as like we are doing, just for fun, with us, just to create something cool, some kind of cool shit. And yeah, I mean, I have messaged some developers I knew in my circle, but I'm not sure if they're gonna get the idea. So we're just gonna keep trying. So far we have two problems have left. Is the problem with API and the problem with Stripe. So today I was solving the problem with API, yesterday I was solving problem with Stripe, and in the end, even if I have a problem, I kind of know what is gonna be the solution. In a Stripe's case, I knew that I can't find an alternative, and what happened is that I did find one or two, even three. And in this case, I know we just have to change the API to another one, and there are many of the APIs, and I even have found a couple of them, but again, not sure, because I didn't tested them yet. Changing the API is a lot harder than just finding an alternative for Stripe on Google. Yeah. Obsession takes everything and gives you more, but no one tells you when. I think that's enough for today. Peace.